Alan, this species of variformin's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing isn't on this thing. What?
It's a dinosaur.
You did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it.
Look at this tear up the rule book on it. Cold-bloodedness, it doesn't apply. They're totally wrong. This is a warm-blooded creature.
This thing doesn't live in a swamp.
This thing's got, what, a 25, 27-foot neck? Brachiosaur 30. We're gonna make a fortune with this place. How fast are they?
Well, we clocked the T-Rex to 32 miles an hour.
T-Rex?
Mm-hmm.
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh.
Say again.
We have a T-Rex.
Oh.
Put your head between your knees.
Dr. Grant. My dear Dr. Sattler. Welcome to
Callum's birthday.
They're moving in herds. They do move in herds. How'd you do this? I'll show you.
Happy birthday, Callum. Happy birthday, Callum.
Happy birthday, Kallum.
Happy birthday, Callum.
My favorite dinosaur is probably a Brachiosaurus, mainly because of the Land Before Time. I remember watching that as a kid and really resonating with Littlefoot, so I would say that's my favorite.
My favorite dinosaur is the Brachiosaurus because we used to watch Land Before Time when we were younger.
One of my favorite dinosaurs is probably the Ankylosaur because it just looks cool and it has all of the armor and everything, and it has the big club. The club for the tail, peak.
My favorite dinosaurs are probably the Triceratops because they're cool horns. And then also, I really like the pterodactyl, mostly because of Dinosaur Train, but not the one brother pterodactyl in Dinosaur Train because he's a little scary.
My favorite dinosaur fact is that they can find dinosaurs still preserved as embryos in eggs.
My favorite dinosaur fact is probably that most dinosaurs were actually depicted wrongly because the old drawing style that they would use when finding fossils was called shrink wrapping. So it would put all of the skin directly to the bone instead of adding in like thick tissue and meatier fat. But now they're doing it accurately nowadays. So the dinosaurs we get to see nowadays are a lot more accurate to what they used to be. And probably that the name dinosaur is actually Greek for terrible lizard.
One of my favorite things about you is probably that I never have to wonder what you're thinking. You will just say it, and there's been a lot of moments where that is just super funny, especially when we're hanging out with the guys.
One of my favorite things about you, Callum, is probably your phlegmatic, kind, yet also direct traits that encapsulate your personality. I think you have such a great heart, and I really hope that you know how appreciated you are for being you. Your passion for dinosaurs is almost infectious. And I think that's really cool.
And my favorite thing about Callum is that every time we have a birthday in the friend group, he always shows up with a gift and a card for that person, and I think that's just really nice.
Something awesome about Callum is that he's kind of always there for you. Like, you can call him up anytime, whether it's serious or silly, he can always kind of be there to cheer you up, and he's a really nice guy to talk to.
My favorite memory of Callum has to be when me, him, Philomena, and Cade were all driving back from the Vancouver Aquarium together. We were in my car and I'd been kind of like controlling the music all day, and then Cade and Callum really wanted to listen to this one song, Pumped Up Kicks, and so they finally convinced me. But it was a good choice because watching them so passionately sing that song was just killing me. I was like dying. It was even more funny when Callum was so impressed with his own singing that he made Philomena record him so that he could prove to his friends that he wasn't tone deaf. That was really hilarious. I enjoyed that a lot.
And one of my favorite memories with you was back in grade 12 when I started dating Kate. When the first time you met her, you sat down with us in a group, my whole friend group's there, and you knew barely any of them. The first thing you start doing is interrogating her on why she's dating me. And at the time, I was a little bit annoyed, but looking back on it, it's just a hilarious memory, and it's one of the most Callum moments ever. So, that's a prized memory now, just because of how stupid it is.
One of my favorite memories of you is the time when we were at Dairy Queen hanging out, and then you started dramatically explaining how a chicken is actually a dinosaur. And then you got super animated about that. In that moment, I'm not gonna lie, I was low-key amused, but also thoroughly impressed with your knowledge and also your passion on the subject. I will never forget that a chicken is actually a dinosaur. Ever. You convinced me.
My favorite memory with you is probably when we did karaoke night at my house with just you, Brandon, Philomena, and Desiree. And we had to watch you and Brandon sing this Russian or German song about flowers, or when we hung out that day in downtown Chilliwack and then we jammed out to some cool tunes on the way back. That was very fun. And lately, making that Minecraft world.